Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Here in just a bit, Charming Amy and I are out the door to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And you know what? This is a special showing, guys. We're not just going to sit down and see Volume 3. Oh no, what's the fun in that? We're going to sit down and watch Volume 1, 2, and top off the evening with 3. We're going to a special early showing of Volume 3, but in order to see it, we have to sit through the other two first. Now, this sounds like a lot of fun, to be perfectly honest, but it is going to be one heck of a late night. So what we're going to do is, in between the movies, if we're able to, Charming Amy and I are going to film little blurbs. We're going to talk about the movie that we just saw, and so on and so forth. Kind of do a little mini review of the movie before we see the next one, mostly just to kind of keep us awake, because we're not going to be getting back home this morning until around 3 a.m. So we're going to need to do some stuff to keep ourselves brat-eyed and bushy-tailed. Now, what is the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Well, as far as I can tell, it looks like we're going to be diving into the background of Rocket Raccoon a bit more, and the Guardians are going up against the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary, it's pretty much in his name what that dude does. He evolves things. Yeah, there you go. Name, job, that simple. So anyways, guys, it is enough. It's time for me to get out the door because I don't have just one movie to see tonight. I got 3 movies to see tonight. Now, here's the thing. If you just want to see the review for Volume 3 and you don't care about all the other goofiness that Charming Amy and I are going to be doing, feel free to fast forward, go through all that till the end when I do Volume 3. I'm not expecting all of you to sit there and go through everything. We're literally doing this just to kind of keep ourselves going, and we may not even be able to. I don't like filming around people, so if there's a lot of people around and we're not able to go out to the car or something like that, I'm probably not going to do anything. So who knows? Maybe I'll be back with a review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 here in a bit, or maybe I won't. We'll just see. See you soon. Alright, so that ended the first film. We still have the other 2 to go. I'm not going to really be able to do any more recording after this because I'm not able to get back out to my car. So this is pretty much goodbye for now. I'll be back though with a review for number 3 here in just a bit. Welcome back, just getting home, and guys, this was a lot of fun, and I don't mean just Volume 3. Volume 3 was a lot of fun too, but being able to see 1 and 2 before seeing 3 was awesome, and also being able to experience them on the IMAX, and then the third movie in the IMAX. Honestly, I think that's the way these movies should be seen. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Alright, now I'm going to start this off with the negatives, or in this case, the negative, and then I'm going to move into the positives and everything on the ever so important high note. And you're probably wondering, why am I wearing a lanyard? Well, that's the lanyards that we wore when we went and saw the trilogy, I guess you could say, the marathon of films. Alright, so the negative. One negative that I have of this movie is the fact that there is a character that literally serves no purpose. The character just really seems kind of shoehorned in there, no purpose whatsoever. I really mean that too. Like, I'm not saying it ruins the film. It does nothing of that sort. It's just you could take this character out of the movie and nothing would really change. The character really doesn't affect anything whatsoever in the film. They're just kind of existing in the same universe as everybody else. That's really the only issue I have. I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm not going to tell you who or whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of bland for me, but that was it. Into the positives. Okay, where to begin? Alright, well let's go ahead because everybody likes to complain about the CGI, so let's start there, okay? The CGI in this movie is very solid. It looks great. I mean that. It really is probably some of the best CGI work I have seen come out of a Marvel movie in years. They actually took their time and worked on it to where it really looked like stuff. Not just like bubbles popping around on your screen, just like, oh, I'm a big old green monster. No, this actually looked like the CGI had substance. Like the characters were actually there on screen. It was very, very well done. Groot and Rocket look outstanding. I mean, there are points where I really thought that they had trained a raccoon to walk upright. Okay, maybe not, but still, it looked great. Next thing, the soundtrack, because the soundtrack in these films, very important. It's almost like another character. The soundtrack in the Guardians of the Galaxy film, like we were driving home and we were talking about how great it is that these movies have such solid soundtracks because when you hear the song, it reminds you of the part of the movie. And then you can sit there and go, oh, yeah, man, when you remember when they were fighting so-and-so? God, that scene was so cool. And so yeah, the solid soundtrack is great. And there are some songs on there I was really surprised. Okay, you know what? This isn't really a spoiler, but for Christ's sakes, there's a Faith No More song in this film. And not just any Faith No More song. If you're a fan of Faith No More, you're going to sit there and go, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But that's kind of how the soundtracks of these movies go. So yes, and honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and say, personally, I think this is the best soundtrack that has come out of the franchise to date. But it does have a lot of 90s alt-rock on there, and I was a big fan of the 90s alt-rock and alt-metal, things of that sort back in the 90s. So the soundtrack really resonated with me. I enjoyed the 70s and 80s hits in the previous movies, but this one really hit home, so I loved it. So soundtrack, excellent. CGI, excellent. Story, awesome. I really enjoyed the story. It does such a great job of just making sure that all of the main characters are involved in this. No one's left out. The story was great. The villain in this film is very, very good. I enjoyed the High Evolutionary. It wasn't just a typical, these superhero villains that just pop up at the end of the movie out of nowhere and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm the villain. You need to stop me. This guy is evil through and through and just outstanding. I'm not quite sure of the actor's name that played the High Evolutionary, but man, he did a great job. He was frightening. He was crazy. Very solid villain. So the acting in the film is great. The chemistry between our main characters is one of the major selling points of this franchise. The thing that's awesome about every one of the characters in this film is that they seriously feel like friends and like family. They feel like people that genuinely care about each other. And that's what I love about these movies is the cast. Alright, well honestly, I don't have any more to say about this film. Everything is just fire and 100 for me. I really enjoyed this movie. This is a very, very solid go out there and see it in theaters, especially if you are into the comic book genre. Notice I didn't say superheroes, because these ain't superhero comic books. These are sci-fi comic books. But that's a story for another day, because it is almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I need to wrap this up. So, this is a solid film. Go out, see it in theaters. If you have the chance, see it on IMAX like I did because, like I said, the CGI is absolutely gorgeous in this film. It looks so good. It's a very, very pretty film. Very colorful, very bright, and like I keep throwing it around, the special effects were amazing. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.